Wow, in this savage Schwebazode, will Bitcoin continue its absolutely predictable price action and be heading up to our next target right about here? Or in fact, are we in store for finally some excitement? The clock is absolutely ticking away with only days left before this breakout should theoretically absolutely erupt. But the question remains, how much juice will it let loose? Guys, the SPX and markets abroad saw a pretty substantial drop with Trump's announcement about rejecting any stimulus plans until after the beginning of November. However, it looks as though we've already completely bounced back and are actually higher than we were 2 days ago, even before we factor in this drop. And as well, we are going to follow the entire cryptocurrency market cap as it continues to also consolidate in a very similar pattern as Bitcoin itself is currently doing. Let's get chugging. Wow, welcome back, senoras, senoritas, and senor mamacitas. Guys, we have so much to be delving into in today's webisode as Bitcoin continues to absolutely squinch and squeeze into a smaller and smaller price target. But when can we expect Bitcoin to finally break out? Guys, I know it's been an absolute long time coming. In fact, as we pointed out yesterday, this is the third least volatile time that Bitcoin has had in the last 3 years. And precisely what makes this even more exhausting is the fact that two of the least volatile time periods have been within the last 6 months. So within the last 6 months, we've basically seen some of the least volatile price action we could be expecting for Bitcoin's price. And another reason why that's significant is because this is on the forefront, the calm before the storm. Wow, without any further ado, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you get updated when we upload new videos. And if we can hit 800 likes in this Schwebazode, then we will be giving away this Schledger in the next webisode. We got insanely close to the last one, but guys, I don't blame you. You know what they say, when Bitcoin is boring, Bitcoin is about to go bonkers. Wow, and guys, for a limited time, if you use the referral code TylerSCrypto1 or TylerSCrypto2, you get an additional $60, $120, or $300 with your Bybit deposit using the link below if you have experience trading and you want to support the channel. And as well, guys, if you have any questions, make sure to shoot me an email because I can get you in contact with the person that I communicate with at Bybit. And if you have any issues with anything, I can just connect you with them and they'll be able to help you sort out your issues. Wow, without any further spladoosh, let's jump in. Holy macaroni, guys. So if we actually zoom in on this chart, this has been the most key chart, the most pretty chart, the most congruent chart that we've been looking at, guys, for the past month and week. For the past over 5 weeks now, we have been consolidating and setting higher lows and lower highs. And guys, this is where the wieners are made. This is where it all comes down to roost. This is where all the chickens lay their eggs. This is where everything gets very serious, guys, because now we've consolidated so much, and I have it illustrated here with this purple box. We've consolidated so much that we're basically going to be trading within just this very tight range until we get a breakout. And as you guys can see, based on the percentage swings of the last month, right, of how much Bitcoin has been swinging from one side to the other, you can tell that there is not much room left. The compression has just compressed and compressed, and it looks as though Bitcoin will have absolutely no choice but to erupt one way or the other. And guys, as we highlighted in our video yesterday, there's two things I actually want to highlight about this. For one, we had some pretty nutty news yesterday with the stimulus rejection, right? And Bitcoin did not even set a lower low. It still continued to set higher lows. And as well, we saw a massive recovery already. Again, this is short-lived. This just happened. But already it looks as though the recovery might already have been completed just within the last day, right? So that news at first did move the stocks. But I mean, it looks as though it's already kind of forgotten about, right? I mean, is this already priced in? Like, is this all that's going to happen? Because so far, with all the news that we've gotten over the past 2 weeks, and believe me, we've had some substantial news, especially for this year, in terms of things that would normally affect the Bitcoin or crypto space. We've had some pretty significant news over the past few weeks, and we've basically seen Bitcoin not react negatively or positively significantly at all. And one way that really is illustrated is the fact that the lows keep getting higher, the highs keep getting lower, and this pattern remains 100% valid, right? This has not been invalidated once. And sometimes we even do see that with some of these patterns, especially like this last one, right? Sometimes we even do see premature breakouts premature pumpulations like we saw here, right? Where usually we have to get at least 50% of the way through the pattern before we get an actual breakout. But I mean, we saw this within like the first 30% of this pattern, and then it came back and pretty much acted exactly as this pattern would normally break out. So it was kind of like invalidated, and then it was completely validated as the pattern went on. So unlike back here, we've still remained completely valid this entire symmetrical triangle, despite all of the news. And what does that mean? So in my opinion, what that means is that the news is having basically no effect on Bitcoin's price. Whatever news or announcements that are coming out, I think it might already be priced in. People are already expecting 100% that these next few months, or this next month in particular, is going to be volatile in terms of the news, right? I think a lot of people already expect that the news over the next month is going to potentially get kind of crazy, guys. Depending on the US election, I personally think that regardless of who wins, we're going to see some crazy price action regardless, right? We're going to start to see this start to really move very soon, regardless of what happens. But for the most part, it is amazing to me that with everything that's been happening over the past few weeks, we literally just are completing this pattern as if we're in a vacuum, as if nothing outside of crypto is happening, and we're just respecting this pattern completely, even with the SPX dump, right? We saw a significant dump that has, again, already recovered on this pattern. It looks as though, I mean, we got a very, we dropped like maybe $150 max, I think, which is literally nothing for Bitcoin's price. So guys, with that being said, as you can see, if we switch to this 1 hour chart on this ascending triangle here, we're literally at the bottom and we've been hugging this, and this is a really good illustration of this. We've literally been hugging the bottom of this ascending triangle for about 36 hours now. So the next move, in my opinion, will be a retest to the upside. Unless we actually completely break out of this pattern and a massive return to volatility will happen. And again, guys, I'm kind of leaning towards the direction that that's not going to happen just yet. I personally don't think that we're about to see a massive return to volatility within the next few hours. But again, we need to be prepared for that. One of the reasons I say that is because we've had enough negative news over the past 2 weeks that if Bitcoin really wanted to drop and actually pierce 10,000 US dollars, I think we might have already seen that, okay? Knock on wood, but that gives me a little confidence that this actually may want to break strongly to the upside. And again, we're testing the very bottom of it now, so the next move, in my opinion, the next significant move, will be a retest up to the top here, probably around 10,800 US dollars yet again. So that's very key to know, guys. We're just trading in this smaller and smaller range. And really, when it comes down to Bitcoin's TA over the last few weeks, I mean, really, heck, for even the last month, this is the most significant pattern. Everyone's talking about it, and rightfully so. This is exactly what everyone probably should be talking about because it makes the most sense. And guys, as well, if Bitcoin does break to the upside here, if we're at least retest, I 100% expect that the rest of the crypto market is going to head up to that, $335 billion valuation, which again is only a few $billion higher than it currently is because again, the price swings we're seeing are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's why we expect eventually when this actually fundamentally does break out, it's going to be a much bigger return to volatility. And guys, just looking at all of these charts, I mean, whatever happens, whether we get a breakout to the upside or the downside here, we really do have to respect the fact that Bitcoin, despite all the news, like we've been saying, despite everything, all the turmoil, all of the uncertainty, and all of the anxiety, especially in the US, guys. A new poll came out, I believe like 70% of Americans have been kind of just stressed out with the US elections, everything going on in the US. And I 100% am in that camp as well. It's kind of been stressing me out. I much prefer when I don't spend, 3 hours taking a look at politics every single day. I kind of definitely prefer maybe thinking about politics a few hours a month, not a few hours a day, right? It has been a little stressful, and polls coming out, a lot of people agree with that. It's kind of been pretty stressful here. And all of that combined, not just the elections, but the entire crypto market, the traditional markets, everything has been uncertain a little bit. And again, I think that just adds a little to anxiety. So with, again, all of that as the backdrop for everything going on, with all of that being said, it's actually kind of reassuring that Bitcoin up to this point has remained as stable as it has so far. But guys, as I've been saying for weeks, again, I would still love to see a volatility swing one way or the other. I don't care. I just want to see some action. Because again, guys, we kind of spent 3 months being underwhelmed with this price action. We get a small break here, kind of just trade sideways up around 12 and 12.5. And now we've been trading sideways here as well. So we've just been trading basically sideways ever since the end of April. So again, a return to volatility is very welcome here. But guys, I mean, most importantly as well, if you zoom out, we're still above the 21 weekly. We have to remain bullish, in my opinion, as long as that remains true. Wow, so guys, let's try and smash up that like goal. And as well, if you're interested in trading, if you have experience trading, and you want to support the channel, then make sure to use the code TylerSCrypto1 or TylerSCrypto2 and you can get some nice deposit bonuses. 0.1 Bitcoin for an extra 60, 0.2 for an extra 120, and 0.5 for an extra 300. And as well, guys, if anybody has any questions, just shoot me an email at tylerscrypto@protonmail.com and I can get you in contact with my Bybit representative. I don't think anybody has been having any issues, but if you have been having issues, reach out to me via email and we can get it sorted out.